I'm usually not even up at this point. I'm up at the crack of noon. I do things late afternoon or Sunday nights. Of course, my show here on WABC is Sunday night, 8 to 11 p.m. But today, I am filling in for Brian Kilmeade. Is he on assignment or on vacation? I don't know. The big stories today seem to be this Texas redistricting. My God, when the Republicans want to do something, it is the worst possible thing that could be done for the country. And the Democrats, they've done this plenty of times, this redistricting, gerrymandering, they call it. And, both sides complain when this happens because they're redrawing lines on a state map, and it dictates how many seats that the Republicans or Democrats get. And boy, is that important when it comes down to voting and presidential elections, everything. It's very important. Resources going to certain areas. But, this happens every so often. And the Democrats, of course, because it's the Republicans doing it this time, they don't like it. And they pull out all the usual words, all their words that they pull out, like racism, dictatorship, fascist. And the bottom line is, look, both sides do this. And if you have the power and the people to vote on this and get it passed, then that's what's going to happen. But of course, they like throwing little monkey wrenches into these things. So House Democrats have decided they're just going to leave. They're going to leave. They went to, I believe, New York, some of them, Chicago, sanctuary cities. They literally go to sanctuary cities where they'll be protected and embraced and be able to spout off their nonsense to the media without having to fulfill their responsibility of voting in Texas. The other thing we've heard, and please don't put any credence into this, it's fun to imagine. There's so many things in the news that are fun to imagine, but truth be told, they will never happen. The Republicans issued an arrest warrant for the Texas Democrats that have skipped town and skipped out on the vote. But experts say, I love that one, experts, who is that? That it's likely these warrants are not enforceable. And again, this has happened in the past. No one gets arrested. Monday, the Texas House Monday voted to issue arrest warrants for the Democrats who fled the state to block the GOP from taking a vote on its congressional redistricting plan. However, experts say it's unlikely the warrants will actually return Democrats to Texas, never mind actually getting them arrested. And, you go through all the motions. I've signed the civil arrest warrants, House Speaker Dustin Burrows told reporters on Monday. And it's dog and pony show, smoke and mirrors. Greg Abbott, of course, the governor down there in Texas, he went a step further, threatening Sunday to remove the missing Democrats from membership in the Texas House and swiftly fill the vacancies. He said Democrats may also have committed felonies, arguing that they may have violated bribery laws by fundraising to cover the cost of the breaking quorum. Nothing will happen. And again, fun to imagine. So many things. Obama in the orange jumpsuit being cuffed and led away for what amounts to a coup during the 2016 election. Fun to imagine. With all the AI we have now and the ability to make fun memes for social media, it's just a laugh riot, isn't it? But, reality has to settle in at some point, and we all have to realize this won't happen. All of these people are much too powerful to be held accountable for anything. The only person that really got run through the mill was Donald Trump. And what saved him from prison, as we know, was winning the election. But, you know, he's an outlier. He was that proverbial monkey wrench thrown into Washington. So he didn't really fit the bill of one of them. Because they cannot be held accountable. Oh, every so often someone is sacrificed to the gods of the Beltway for something, you know. I think there was a line in a movie once that described the two worst things for politicians. And I think it was a dead girl or a live boy. So every so often those things rear their ugly head, and someone has to pay the price. But for actually doing what they do and what they've done for years and years and years in D.C., the corruption, the grift, all of it, no one ever really pays for that. They talk about it. They talk about how the laws are there for everybody and no one's too big to jail, but nothing happens. So with this redistricting thing, this is just a lot of talk, rattling the saber, trying to get them back. I don't know what will come of this. I don't know if the redistricting will go through. You know, I hope it does, just because, hey, the Republicans are my team. I'm pretty much down to that level. Hey, those are my guys. I hope they win. Because it always seems the Democrats just, they stick together in their insanity and in their criminal corruption. They all stick together. And Republicans, I don't know. We don't have that kind of stick-to-itiveness. But it seems that when things like this happens, one person will emerge as the voice, the leadership. And, oh boy, we have Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett. This woman has been the face, the voice, and the gut, if you've seen recent pictures, of the Democrat Party. This is who they put up front to say, yeah, this is us. This is who we want to represent us and speak for us. And she is god-awful. You want to talk about someone that threatens the opposition, Republicans? They always talk about the dog whistle. You know, that when they want to talk about Republicans who are trying to sow division and violence, they say, oh, that was a dog whistle. I remember Trump a couple of years back said if Biden is elected or Kamala Harris is elected, I forgot which one it was at the time, but there'd be a bloodbath. And he was talking about the auto industry and Wall Street financially. Bloodbath has been something that has been used on Wall Street and in the financial circles for many years. It doesn't mean literally blood running down the streets. They've used it for forever to denote a very bad time financially, losing a lot of money. And he used that term bloodbath, and oh my God, the mainstream media, that propaganda wing of the left, they couldn't get enough. He's saying that the blood will flow down the streets if he's not elected. And with the smart people, if you're not even smart, the people with a little common sense, I think, realized what he was saying. But the Democrats, and Jasmine Crockett specifically, has been using terminology that would evoke violence and division. But does anyone say anything about that? Does the mainstream media put her quotes up there and say, boy, this sure sounds like a call to violence against political opponents? Here's one clip of Jasmine calling Trump a Timu Hitler, which again is another thing We've seen attempts made on Trump's life over the course of the past a year or so, a couple of years maybe. And I believe that's all due to mainstream media and politicians like Jasmine Crockett calling him Hitler, a dictator, an existential threat to American democracy. So let's listen to Jasmine bashing Donald Trump and calling for violence.
They understand that we have a Timu Hitler in the White House right now that thinks that he is going to become the dictator of the United States. Well, I got another thing to tell you, sir.
Timu Hitler. That's what we got. I guess Timu is like a discount place. So he's in Jasmine Crockett's mind, he's not even a Hitler. He's just a thrift store, a discount Hitler. But when you call someone a Hitler, you're conjuring up a very dangerous image. And if you have power like Jasmine Crockett does, much to my chagrin, I had a little more faith in the American people. You're advocating violence. Let's be real here. They know that works. They know what calling someone a Nazi or Hitler does. Here's another clip of her. She's calling Dems nice guys, as she says at the same time that Republicans need to be beat down. Listen to this.
They expect Democrats to kind of be the nice guys that we are. They expect us to take the punch and say thank you. Well, I am here to tell you, not only are we going to punch back, but we about to beat you down.
That's right.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Look out. The Dems are the nice guys we know they are. All you hear coming out of the left and the Democrat Party and Jasmine Crockett and her ilk is a call to violence. That isn't a dog whistle. That's blatant. That's easily understood as a call to beat down Republicans. So what are we supposed to think? And we know liberals are, I'm sorry, mental patients. They're mental patients. I see it. I scroll on my social media on a daily basis, and you see these wild people with Charles Manson eyes screaming into their phone that they want to literally take the lives of MAGA, Republicans, politicians, right up to the President of the United States. And they're the nice guys, as we just heard the beautiful Jasmine Crockett tell us. There's another thing with the Democrats and Jasmine in particular. They've taken to cursing a lot. Have you noticed this? Have you noticed this, people? Like Jay Leno. They've taken to cursing. Now, I believe they saw Donald Trump using some salty language during his rallies, his campaign, and even as president. He has, used the dreaded S word when talking about the bull that comes out of some people's mouths. And it just fits Donald Trump because that's who he is. He's a New York developer. He's dealt with, back in the 80s and 90s when Trump was coming up as a developer, he dealt with some pretty nefarious people. You weren't able to move concrete in New York City without talking to some of the members of, let's say, the five families. And it's very natural to have that kind of vernacular when you're dealing with those people. And with Donald Trump, I think it's very natural. It comes out. Some people are offended by it. Should he not talk like that? Maybe it doesn't seem, presidential. But I think the Democrats, a lot of them, because you've seen Swalwell and Buttigieg and these guys, and of course Jasmine and company, they're starting to curse the MF, the S word, the dreaded S word. And it looks more like just a lack of decorum, a lack of respect for their constituents, for the office. And again, I'm not giving Trump a free ride on this. He should probably not use language like that while he's in office. But like I said, it more suits his personality. These people seem to be using it because they saw how effective it was when Trump did use it. So again, they're just being phonies and liars, and trying to latch on to something they see working in some respect. But it's a complete lack of respect, I think, especially when they throw it around like they do. It's pretty harsh, and it's a lot more often than Trump uses it. They've been talking about Jasmine Crockett for maybe a presidential candidate in 2028. I love when it's this far out before a presidential election. You know, we've just started Trump's term, and they start putting the label on people. Is this person? Maybe this person can be a candidate. And some people have actually said Jasmine Crockett may be gearing up for a presidential run. And I have my theories on this, and this is why we see lunatics like Jasmine Crockett being put out in front, your face of the Democrat Party. And this is my opinion. I believe that the true powers that be in the Democrat Party are putting the cannon fodder out there. They're putting people like Jasmine Crockett out there and letting them be the mental patients that they are. And after a couple of years of this, I think a lot of people will look and say, oh boy, can we maybe get a moderate Dem candidate? Can we get somebody that isn't insane like Jasmine Crockett and the rest? And then they could present somebody. And I don't even know if it's anybody you even know their name right now. It might be a Democrat that, like Bill Clinton was back in 92. No one really knew who he was. But someone like that, and in contrast to the nuts that the Democrats have paraded around for a couple of years before the 2028 election, this guy will look like a godsend, like the most sensible, reasonable Democrat that people have seen in a decade or so. Liz Warren. All right. Settle down. Don't pull your hair out. Liz Warren is backing Zoran Mamdani for mayor of New York. Now, I was a New Yorker. I left for greener pastures in South Carolina. But, boy, you New Yorkers, now I say you New Yorkers, sure make me wonder if you have the capacity to think. Sorry, I don't mean to get on you too bad, but it looks like Mamdani has a very good shot at becoming mayor of New York City. And this guy, democratic socialist, doesn't that sound so nice? He's a commie. He's a communist, let's be honest. And Liz Warren, that wonderful thing. Talk about the nuts and lunatics that the left put out there to be the face of the left. Liz Warren is right up there. She is backing Mamdani, and she's taken to the media. She's out there. She's doing all the talk shows and saying this guy's great. He'd be great for New York. And here she is on Morning Joe. Oh boy, Liz Warren on Morning Joe backing Zoran Mamdani.
To Wall Street. How is this not a unifying message, not just for Democrats, but for everybody in the working class and the middle class?
You got it, Joe. It is. And in fact, that's the mayoral race right now in New York City. That's Zoran Mamdani. How does this young guy come in, doesn't have the money to spend that Cuomo has, doesn't have the position that Adams has, doesn't have the backing of the billionaires? How does that work? He comes in and he talks about how to make New York City affordable for families. And he says, we got to talk about housing, we got to talk about the price of groceries, and we got to talk about childcare. Because without those young families who are trying to make it, people can't make it in New York City unless they're rich. And he wants to make this city work for working people. And that's what it's all about. That's why I think this race in New York City is so important, because Zoran managed to win by talking about affordability. Democrats across this country will win by talking about affordability. And then, and here's the key, not just talking about it, delivering on it.
Ugh. Shut up. Sorry. Anytime I hear her talk, I just have to say, shut up. That voice, first of all. Well, I think Zoran Mamdani, this is insanity. First of all, this is something not many people touch on. Who says New York has to be affordable to everybody? I'd love to live in Bel Air or Beverly Hills. When are they going to make that affordable for me? There are so many wonderful places that seems only the wealthy can afford to live in around our fair country. What about that? Why don't you make that affordable? Some places are just expensive. New York City's always been expensive. The idea that you can make it affordable for people, why? Move to the suburbs. If you want to work in New York City, move to the suburbs. Why are people struggling having to live in New York City? Does that sound elitist of me? Maybe. But there are plenty of places that are out of the financial reach of a lot of people in this country. And it doesn't seem like there's a concerted effort to make those places affordable to everybody. Why New York City? It's a big place. Things are expensive there. There's a lot of people there and businesses. So sorry, Liz. And the idea of a communist being the mayor of the city where, Wall Street is. I heard Liz Warren talking about that recently, saying, well, the Wall Street people, all the people, the billionaires, they don't want Zoran in because he'll tax the billionaires. And why would Wall Street, the pinnacle of capitalism, that is the way of the world, why would they want a communist mayor? Even though I think they're giving Mamdani a lot of credit, or they're saying he can do a lot of things he'd never be able to do as mayor. Mayor's just about a figurehead position. They get to appoint some pretty important people and stuff, but for years and years it was a lot of ribbon cutting and showing up at schools and shaking hands. Mamdani doesn't have the power to do all of these things that he says he wants to do. The grocery store thing is just completely crazy. Have a state-run grocery store. You go to your grocery stores now and the shelves are full. People working there seem attentive. Everyone working there has a reason that they're there to make money. The owners of the stores have a reason to have those stores make some money. And the idea of a state-run grocery store like he wants to do, especially in a city like New York. If you recall a few years ago, New York City had something called off-track betting. They were bookies for horse racing. Somehow, someone figured out how to sell people on, hey, New York, we are going to be your bookie for horse racing at Belmont and Aqueduct and various other racetracks. And they couldn't make money being a bookie on horse racing. If your city fails at something organized crime has made bank on over the course of the years, it's that easy. Do you know? Let me let you in on a little secret. Most people lose. Most people that bet on the horses, they lose. So you'd think they could make money on that, and they lost money. It went bankrupt. Do you honestly think they're going to be able to run a grocery store chain in New York City? Who's going to make sure it's stocked? Who's going to work there? Government employees? Like motor vehicle, like the Department of Motor Vehicle? Imagine going up to somebody in one of these run grocery stores and going, "Excuse me, where's the bread? I'm on break." Yeah, but I'm on break. All right. Because there's no incentive or motivation by anybody to treat the customers anyway, or make sure you have the goods in the store. Where else are they going to go? The other state-run grocery store? That's why ideas like this cannot work in our society. Look at Russia back in the Soviet Union. It's all you heard. How did their state-run stores work? We don't have toilet paper. We want American toilet paper. They didn't have anything. So you got this idea that a state-run grocery store is going to be better, than a store John Katz can run. Has been running for many years in New York City. To the pleasure of people. Stocked shelves. What would be the incentive to stock the shelves? We don't have it. Yeah, where are you going? The other place that doesn't have it? Socialism does not work. And the fact that this guy is the leading candidate for the mayor of New York City is astounding to me. And, again, it makes me wonder about the intellect and reason of people in New York. You had the opportunity to get rid of Hochul. She was Cuomo's throwdown when he got tossed out for the crime of being a hugging Italian, as he said. But aside from that, and maybe being responsible for some elderly departing this mortal coil, she steps in, fills out his term, and then you dummies vote her back in. You could add Lee Zeldin, Led Zeppelin. Could add Lee Zeldin. He says, what Texas and Republican states are doing at the direction of Donald Trump is nothing short of a legal insurrection. A legal insurrection. So, that's who you voted for. That's who you thought would be the greatest governor ever. They love tossing words around like that. We've seen it. Fascist, dictator. How many times have they called Trump a dictator, a wannabe dictator, a fascist, a Hitler, and a legal insurrection, which I can't even fathom what that would be. But there's your Hochul. Well, Mamdani and Liz Warren, of course, have a plan for New York because free stuff, all the free stuff that Mamdani wants to give to New Yorkers, and that Liz Warren wants to make New York affordable for everybody for some reason. All of that has to come from somewhere. So who should it be? Well, billionaires. Let's listen to Liz talk about the same old song and dance taxing those pesky billionaires. Got Liz? No? Maybe.
What Zoran is
here it
saying is, I want people to be able to afford to live in New York City. That's what keeps it a vibrant city. That's what makes people want to live
Nobody
here.
disagrees with that, Senator, but raising taxes in order to do it?
Oh,
why
my
is that
goodness.
the answer?
Oh, dear. Are you worried that billionaires are going to go hungry?
Billionaires are going to go hungry. This is their take on everything. The dreaded billionaire. Do you know, New York City, I guess 8.5 million residents in New York City, 8.5 million people. There are 126 billionaires in New York. Now, I don't even know if that sounds like a lot or a little, relatively speaking, but 123 people, billionaires, supporting 8.5 million people doesn't sound like their fair share will fit the bill there. Doesn't sound like that's going to really do it for all the free stuff. And how many of these billionaires are going to keep being fleeced for free stuff for other people that aren't really contributing to New York? See, that's the thing. You can want a vibrant, that's what gives it a vibrant, all the people. That you want a vibrant city, who's paying for it? Not the vibrant people, I'll tell you that. And you can only soak the billionaires so many times before they pick up and leave, which is absolutely what they're doing. A lot of businesses are leaving these big cities around the country, Democrat-run cities, and they've had enough. They've just had enough of being fleeced. And there are greener pastures out there. You don't have to sit back and just have them reaching into your pocket under this guise of fair share. How much is fair? It changes. They keep saying it. They raise the taxes. They say it's on the wealthy. And then next year or the next term, they come back and go, well, you got to pay your fair share. But you told me last time you dipped into my pocket that it was the fair share. I don't know. It really is quite infuriating. But, like I said, oh boy, New York, you best do the right thing. You best do the right thing. I was told 10:55. Can I hear from the people at the station? When am I out? Now? Oh, it went so fast. It went so fast. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Anthony Cumia. I'm filling in for Brian Kilmeade all this week. My show here at WABC Radio is on Sunday nights from 8 to 11 p.m. Eastern Time. Please tune in, won't you? And we'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.